Hey guys, it's ToProForuGames or Adam, and we are back with another COD Zombies video, and today I'll be going over a lot of myths. So myths have been a huge part of zombies pretty much since World War, so today I want to go over 6 myths, popular myths, that you should never believe. On our last zombies video, our goal was simple, to beat 717 likes, and you guys absolutely crushed it on that video with 998 likes. So for today's video, guys, it's simple. Let's beat 998 likes, and let's see how many more we can get on this video. Let's keep that zombies hype going. And besides that, let's go ahead and jump into the number 6 spot. Starting things off here in the number 6 spot, I have to start with the biggest myth of all time in COD Zombies. And this is going back all the way till World War, and it's still present in zombies today. And the myth I'm talking about is the Raygun every time glitch, or if you open the box when the question mark is gold, guess what? You'll get a great gun. And this is the biggest BS of all time. Now, for those of you who have been around for a long time, we all know it's fake, but for those of you who are new players, this is what this myth really latches onto. Those new players, those people who think, oh, if I do this glitch right here, or this trick right here, I'll get a ray gun or a great gun every time I go to the box. And the truth is that it just never ever works. I want to know how many of you actually fell for this trick right here. Comment the word ray gun if you tried doing this at one point in your zombies career. And I feel like everybody who's new to zombies or comes into zombies has fallen for this trick one time or another. And it's popular in every single game. Just go onto YouTube and type in like Raygun every time glitch or good gun from the box every time, and you will see pages upon pages of videos from World War all the way to BO3 zombies with millions of views. So a lot of people out there actually believe that this is true, and I hate to say it, guys, if you do this every game, it is not true. Do not try to get a good gun every time, because there's no such thing. The only way to increase your box luck is by getting the Titty Repair perk in BO2 zombies. Next up on our list, in the number 5 spot, we're going back again to World of War, and it's currently present in zombies today as well, and that is the Durice / the Giant Easter egg. And ever since the introduction of Durice in World War, there has always been this talk about this grand Easter egg on this map. And of course, we've had so many versions of this map. We had it in World War, had it in BO1, and now we have it in BO3. And especially when this map dropped in BO3, everyone was convinced that there's this massive Easter egg on this map, and unfortunately, there just isn't. Now, I'm not saying that there haven't been Easter eggs on Durice or the Giant, because there definitely have been. You know, in World War, you had the flash drive Easter egg, and of course, that's in every single version of Durice or the Giant. And of course, in BO3, you had the extra perk Easter egg, or the Deadshot Daiquiri or stamina perk Easter egg, so that was in there, but not this massive big Easter egg we see in a normal map, right? We were all expecting something so big, especially with the storyline, and we never really got it, and it definitely is not there. So maybe in the future we'll get another version of Durice or the Giant, and there will be an Easter egg there, but for now, every single version of this map we have in COD Zombies does not have a major Easter egg in it. And next up, in the number 4 spot, do you guys ever wonder, when you down in COD Zombies, excluding World War Zombies, when you down and you move around, do you bleed out faster? Because this is one of the biggest myths of all time since BO1 Zombies. So in BO1, BO2, and BO3, whenever you do down, you are able to move while down, and the myth is, if you're moving while you're down, will you bleed out faster? And to answer your question, no, you do not bleed out faster if you move around while down in zombies. I believe it's 45 seconds across all COD zombie games. So this myth right here, for those of you who are newer to zombies, you might not be familiar with this myth right here, but for those of you who are long-time OG players, we all heard this myth so many times, especially when it was first introduced in BO1, or when moving while downing was introduced in BO1. This is one thing everyone said, hey, when you're down, don't move around, and of course, it is absolute BS. Next up, in the number 3 spot, we have one that is kind of newer. So far, a lot of these myths are myths that kind of started back in World War and BO1, but this myth right here, I didn't really hear about it back then, more in BO2 BO2 and here in BO3, and that myth is that you can only get a certain amount of max ammos every game. Like, I've always had those online games, especially in BO2, a little bit here in BO3, where I was playing and you'd get an extra max ammo that you didn't need, and people would say, hey, if you don't need that max ammo, save it for later. You can only get a certain amount of max ammos every single game, so if you don't need it now, then just leave it and it will spawn back in later in the game. And I was always thinking to myself, like, what does that mean? Like, is there a limit to max ammos? And the truth is, no, there is no such thing. You can actually get as many max ammos as you want throughout an entire game, because I think the way it works in those higher rounds is the drops are kind of cycled, and it's pretty much just RNG. Some rounds you'll get it, some rounds you won't. And also, if we're going to talk about drops, I might as well mention this myth as well. That this myth is, if you don't get a certain power-up, it will, spawn in later, or you'll have a better chance of getting that same drop later in the game or very soon. And that's something that is also BS. If you do not get a drop and it disappears, it's gone. Every single round, you're gonna get a certain amount of drops. I believe it's 4 drops a round, and it's just completely random, right? So if you don't get a max ammo on round 20 and you want to save it for later on, it's not gonna change anything. So there is no limit to the amount of max ammos or heck any drop you can get throughout a game, and if you do end up getting a drop and you don't take it, there isn't a better chance of you getting it later on in the game. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have another myth that connects to the Giant and Doris, and that myth is there is a teddy bear somewhere hidden on the moon. This is a really weird one, and of course, when I say moon, I don't mean the map moon, I mean the actual moon in the sky on the map. And this makes no sense, because of course the sky and the moon is just a skybox. It's not an actual object in the sky. But back in World War, where this kind of started was, you have the fly type Easter egg, right? You activate that Easter egg, you'll have a couple of teddy bears kind of scattered around the map. You have to find, there's 2 you have to find, and the last one is a monkey bomb, and then that's kind of the end of that little Samantha Easter egg on Doris in World War. And everyone thought that there was a 3rd teddy bear somewhere hidden on the map. Back in World War, there was always this search for this hidden 3rd bear, and there was always that teddy bear in the spawn room with the shadow up against the wall, but of course there was no way of actually shooting that bear, so everyone was trying to find this 3rd bear. And there was a big massive myth that the 3rd bear is on the moon. People would actually like zoom in on the moon and show you where you had to shoot with like the Raygun or something. And in BO1 it kind of went away, but it resurfaced again back in BO3, so it's kind of weird. It's a very strange myth, but the thing is, the moon is just a skybox. It's not an actual object, so it's impossible for a bear to actually be on the moon. Finishing off our list here in the number 1 spot, the biggest myth that is the most recent has to be the Apothecan servant upgrade on Shadows of Evil. And this was such a massive thing when BO3 first came out. After the main Easter egg was solved, it was month after month after month of searching on how to upgrade the Apothecan servant on Shadows. Here we are now 3 years, or almost 3 years, after the release of BO3 Zombies and the release of Shadows of Evil, and we have nothing. We've had tons of clues. We've had the cocoon, or all those different, Margwa hearts, or the Margwa tentacles under the map, hidden there. Everyone thought that there must be an upgrade, and there actually is an upgrade for the Apothecan servant, but we're just not supposed to have it, right? Because at one point there was an upgrade, it was way too overpowered, but just because there is an upgrade for this gun, it doesn't mean that they actually want us to have it. If you look back to previous maps in COD Zombies, there are tons of maps that have weapons in the files. Like, one that jumped up to me is on Doris in World War. There's actually a PAP version of the Springfield, like, in the files for that map, but of course, there's no actual Springfield or PAP Springfield on World War Zombies. So a gun can be there, but of course they just don't want us to have that PAP version. And of course, the PAP version of the Apothecan servant has to work with the gobble guns, right? Because there's some guns where you can PAP the gun you have for 60 seconds. So the PAP version of the Apothecan servant exists, it's there, but I don't think we're actually supposed to have that PAP version all the time like a normal water weapon, because it was too overpowered when it was a glitch and it was in the game. It was way too OP, it was way too crazy. So an actual Easter egg or method to keep the Pat Apothecan servant in a game of Shadows Evil is a massive myth, and it's something that we'll probably never see. There we go, guys. Those are 6 of the biggest myths here in COD Zombies. If you guys have any other myths that I missed, let me guys know right now in the comments below, and maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. And of course, if I do use your comment, I'll shout you out. And besides that, guys, enjoy the video, drop a like, subscribe for more COD Zombies content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.